The Juan Soto sweepstakes came down to a showdown between two New York heavyweights, the Mets and the Yankees. Mets owner Steve Cohen was determined to land the young superstar, but had not learned the outcome until he heard directly from Soto. Despite his confidence, Cohen knew that the Yankees, led by Aaron Judge, presented a formidable challenge. Was being logical. When you have Aaron Judge, it's tough to beat that. Cohen confessed in an interview with the New York Post. Kim was great, but what they had? I didn't know how to solve that. Soto and Judge had combined for 99 home runs in the previous season, finishing first and third in the American League MVP race. Their performances were key to the Yankees advancing to their first World Series since 2009. Meanwhile, the Mets had an impressive season, surprising many by reaching the National League Championship Series, an unexpected success given their perceived rebuilding status. Cohen reflected on how close the race had been, saying there wasn't much separation between the teams regarding what they offered Soto. Here was a lot of emotion and many ups and downs, not knowing where you stood, Cohen admitted. Despite both teams being top contenders, it came down to a few $1 million and a series of intangibles that tipped the scales. Ultimately, Soto chose the Mets offer, a staggering 15-year, $765 million contract. It was only $5 million more than the Yankees had offered, but the decision was enough to swing the momentum in the Mets' favor. A high-ranking Yankees executive confirmed the small gap between the bids, emphasizing how close the competition had been. For Mets fans, this win against the Yankees in a high-profile bidding war fueled the already intense rivalry between the two New York teams. This rivalry continues to define the New York baseball landscape, including the added drama of Soto's arrival in Queens. Cohen downplayed the rivalry in his comments, instead focusing on the competition for the player. The Yankees are the Yankees. I respect that, he said. This is not about the Yankees versus the Mets. It's about competing for a player. We both can exist in New York. There's plenty of room. But for fans, the signing represents much more than a simple acquisition, it's a declaration. The Mets have proven they can compete with the Yankees on the field, and now, with Soto in the fold, they've shown they can outbid them as well. Soto's decision also signals a new era for the Mets. Cohen's commitment to spending has transformed the team from a traditional underdog to a legitimate contender capable of attracting elite talent. For the Yankees, losing out on Soto, especially for just $5 million, will sting. Still, the rivalry between the two teams will only intensify as both continue to battle for supremacy in New York. In the long run, both teams will continue to pursue championships, and while this offseason battle may be over, the Mets-Yankees rivalry is far from finished. With the Mets making such a bold move for Soto, the next few years promise to be filled with excitement as these two teams collide in financial and on-field battles.